So for those of you that want to hear the history, come on up a little closer. Let's get into it now. This is Edward Teach. Wait a minute now. That's not a picture. You're not allowed to take a picture like that. You take a picture like this. Better known to us as Blackbeard. But as we know it, Edward Teach was just an alias name. You see, back in those days, the pirates, they never used their real names. And the reason for that is so they wouldn't bring shame to the family name. That's why they all had aliases. He was born in 1680 in Bristol, England. He stood at 6'4", weighed 248 pounds. He carried 8 pistols, 4 on each side, a musket, and a machete. On each side of his head, there are 2 pieces of hemp ropes. Before he went to war or captured another ship, he stuffed those into molasses, then gunpowder, then he lights them on fire, making his face look like it's actually on fire. That way, he would scare off his enemies, and he wouldn't have to go to war with them. We know that he got the name Blackbeard because of his beard. Long, dark, black beard that covered most of his face. But as you can see, his beard are braided 18 times. Well, that's because he had 18 wives. Under every one of those braids, there's a red ribbon. The red ribbons are to serve as a trophy. Why? Well, because at the end of every honeymoon, he killed all his wives. But he had a good reason. Would you like to know? Yeah. To avoid child support and alimony. He terrorized the Caribbean seas from Jamaica all the way to England. In the year 1716 is when he became known to the world as Blackbeard the Pirate. He was captured by Robert Maynard. Maynard chopped his head off, tossed his body overboard, where all the crew members witnessed. A headless Blackbeard's body swam 3 times around the ship before the body sunk. Then they took his head, tied it to the bow of the ship where they say the last thing Blackbeard ever did was wink his eye. Then they set sail to Virginia, where they would collect the reward for the capture of Blackbeard and 10 of his men. 9 of his men was found guilty of piracy, and they were all sentenced to death by hanging, all except 1. The reward that was offered for the head of Blackbeard was 100 pounds. Before Maynard collected the reward, he took a spear to the point of the harbor, stuck it in the ground, took Blackbeard's head and placed it on that spear. So that would be a lesson to all the other pirates that this too shall happen to you. 1 life they spared. Legend has it, when Blackbeard's body washed ashore, he had over 27 stab wounds and 5 gunshot wounds on his body. Blackbeard died at the age of 38. He died in November 22nd, 1718. In those 2 years that he was a pirate, he had captured 25 to 27 ships. In North Carolina, where they stuck his head on that spear, that area, that is now called Blackbeard's Point. It was also said that a group of high society people, now, when they say high society people, they are actually talking about the Masons. They took his skull and made a drinking mug from his skull, where they all sat around a table and had a drink from that skull. Some even say, even to George Washington himself had a drink from that skull. For as we know it, George Washington was the first Grand Master Mason. And that is your history of Blackbeard the Pirate. Thank you. Now, guys, You know you're pressing for time. We do have a bar. You might want to get you a drink at the bar. We have our signature drink. 1 cup of this drink will keep you happy for 2 days. The name of this drink, it is called none other than Blackbeard's Revenge. Dun, 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 dun. All right? Thank you, guys. For those